I have a question for you guys. Do you want to buy your dream house and retire early? Well, I know how you can. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I can assure you that no, I'm not like that person from Instagram trying to get you into a herbal tea pyramid scheme or asking if you want to learn more about Forex. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to be the guy that's here to tell you that the answer is to read more. Now, you might think, that's ridiculous, but did you know that billionaire Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, reads almost 3 hours a day? And Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft, reads 50 books a year, which is roughly one book every week. And so if some of the wealthiest people the world has ever seen read this much, surely that must be one way of becoming rich and achieving all your dreams. And so just add a lot of reading into your life. That's not a problem, right? Wrong. If you've ever tried to pick up reading for fun, it may have ended up something like this. And then before you know it, what was supposed to be a 5-minute break turns into a 2-hour TikTok session. It can be so frustrating. You know exactly what you need to do, but you just don't. Why are you Mr. Struggle, and why can't you just change your habits? Well, I'm here to tell you that the problem isn't actually you. The problem is your system. You see, studies have found that intention can in fact have no impact on behavior. This means that no matter how much you intend to read, you may never actually pick up a book. So rather than relying on willpower, develop a system to effectively implement new habits. But what do I mean by system? Developing a system means incorporating strategies that make it easier for you to do your desired behavior and ultimately increases the chances that you will stick with that habit. So there are 3 strategies that you can incorporate into one system. 1, you can reduce the cognitive effort associated with the behavior. 2, you can train yourself using conditioning. And 3, you can develop a new identity. So habits form more readily when they require less conscious effort. For instance, why is it so easy to pick up your phone? Because it requires so little mental brain power to pick it up and scroll through social media. Picking up a book and reading, on the other hand, requires much more conscious effort. This means that you may want to opt for audiobooks if it's easier for you to consume. Automating tasks also reduces cognitive effort. So a current behavior can become a cue for the habit that you want to incorporate. For instance, since you're already going to be spending time on the toilet, treat the toilet as a cue to read a few pages or listen to an audiobook. You're simply tagging a new behavior with something you're going to do anyways. Automating behaviors in this manner requires very little cognitive effort, and thus you are more likely to continue them. Additionally, don't try perfecting your habits from the start. The key is to stay below the point where it feels like work, because we are less likely to stick with habits that feel hard. You don't have to commit to reading a book a week. Keep it at a level that feels easy and increase the amount as the behavior gets easier. Next, use operant conditioning to reinforce certain behaviors. Operant conditioning is a method of learning through which individuals make an association between an action and an outcome. Now, initially, when you want to start a new habit, you won't receive the benefits for many days, weeks, or maybe even months. This makes it hard to stick with a habit because as humans, we are evolutionarily biased to instant gratification. This means that you should reward yourself and make an association between a reward and the activity you want to do more of, such as reading. For example, after reading a certain number of chapters, you can treat yourself with chocolate, which acts as a positive reinforcer. The chocolate will make it likely that you'll continue to read more chapters. Tracking the habit can also make it satisfying. For example, you can get an app that tracks a consecutive number of days that you've read. Seeing the streak number increase can act as a positive reinforcer that will encourage you to continue. For instance, you may have had streaks on Snapchat for years, for no reason other than you wanted to see that streak number go up. Now, doing something merely for the sake of seeing the streak number go up can actually be very useful because it can help you continue doing a behavior until you can let that new behavior shape your identity. The more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. The goal is not to simply read more books. The goal is to become a reader. This takes advantage of cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is the uncomfortable feeling you get when your attitudes aren't reflected in your behavior. If you identify as a reader, when you skip out on reading, it doesn't match the attitude that you've developed. This creates an uncomfortable feeling, and to get rid of it, you can go and read more. As a result, you are overall more likely to continue with this habit. And so you too can use these strategies. Develop a system that doesn't let you get mentally overwhelmed, that includes positive reinforcers and that helps develop an identity that'll increase the likelihood that you'll continue to engage in a behavior. Now, there are other interesting habits that you could take up, such as waking up really early in the morning, meditating, exercising, perhaps taking cold showers. These and other behaviors may seem daunting at first, especially because you might be very busy as a student and find it hard to add new activities into a packed schedule. But don't let yourself get discouraged. Develop a system that seamlessly integrates new behaviors into your life and achieve your goals. Thank you.